Okay, so today we'll be learning about AWS message image. Okay, actually, when in fact, like if you look into your own say real world, okay, when you need to uh, develop an application server, okay, or create an application server, what you need to do? You need to first install your OS, correct?
Yes.
After that, you need to install your applications like Apache or maybe Flutter or maybe React.js, that is Node.js, okay, or maybe Python, okay. You need to install all this, especially your OS, okay, whether it's Windows or Linux or Mac, any OS, you need to first install it, okay. That is a very say time-consuming process, okay. In order to avoid that, okay, AWS has provided us information with all the software installed on it, okay. So we can just use that image, okay, that is called AWS machine image, okay, it is AMI. So we can just use that image, okay, to spin up our server, okay. In cloud it is called spin, okay. We spin our server like we did earlier, EC2 instance, okay. So we don't have to install the OS, okay. You got RHEL, CentOS, Ubuntu, okay, Windows, okay. Then you got Mac OS. All kind of images are available in the AWS, okay. Now the images we are using now is Amazon Linux currently. We can create Windows EC2 instance with Windows AMI also. Okay, there is RHEL, CentOS, all are available, and even like you got images which have applications already installed. Okay, like AMI with MS SQL installed, MySQL installed, or even like the whole application, okay, like SharePoint already installed, okay, or your say for example Magento already installed. But these AMIs may be chargeable, okay. Actually, you can also do the same thing. You can create an AMI, okay. How to create AMI? I'll show it to you from your EC2 instance, and that AMI can be sold in the marketplace. Okay, in AWS there is a marketplace. You can sell your image there. For example, okay, you developed an application in the Linux environment in the AWS. Okay, this and that application, people are using it. Okay, and you already prepare a ready-made image and you want to sell it to the marketplace so that customers don't have to do anything. No need to install the OS, no need to install the softwares and nothing. Okay, then you can upload your own, create your own AWS images and sell it in the marketplace. Okay, so your AMIs are provided by AWS itself, okay, which is available for everybody free of cost. Some are and there are in the marketplace which you may have to pay or you have to pay, and there are your own custom images also. Okay, I'll show that to you today. And next one is EC2 user data. For example, okay, let's say we need to create 3 EC2 instances, okay, for the developers. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to create 3 EC2 instances, okay, and then what you need to do, you need to say go inside the EC2 instance, I mean SSH, and then you need to do yum install or install the packages, whatever is required, you need to do that. Okay, but when you do that, okay, what happens? You are having to go to the EC2 instance and do it. Okay, the things you need to do whenever you install, whenever you want, and whatever you want to do inside a EC2 instance, okay, you can use that in the user data. That means when you spin up your EC2 instance, launch your EC2 instance, For the first time, it's for the first time only. Okay. After that, it will not execute. That particular portion of the EC2 instance will be executed. Okay. We'll see this today. Now, so EC2 user data is that part of your launch during launch, which will be executed automatically when the instance is being created. Okay, this is only during launch, not after you launched and then next time you restart, you stop and restart, not at that time. It is for the first time only. Okay, now launch EC2 launch templates. Okay, let's say for example, you developed an EC2 instance and you install all the applications and everything is running in it. Okay. After that, you want to make this particular EC2 instance as a, say, starting EC2 instance in the future. Okay. When you want to, say, launch another, say, EC2 instance, you can launch from this template. Okay. So that means it will have everything in it. Okay. So launch template has everything in it and you use it to launch your new EC2 instances so that after launching, you don't have to do anything. Okay. That is launch templates. Launch templates, today we'll be learning about auto scaling, which is the main part today. Launch templates are used in auto scaling group. Okay. What auto scaling group? It's very, very interesting. You will see today. Okay. Next one is EC2 launch configuration. Okay. It is similar to templates. Okay. You already have everything inside the launch configuration and you can use those launch configuration to auto scale your EC2 instances. Okay. So we'll be seeing that, but launch configuration is going to be removed in future. That is because in launch templates, you cannot make changes. Okay. Let's say, for example, you created a base image, launch configuration based on which you auto scale your EC2 instances. Okay. Now, if you want something to be changed, okay, instead of one CPU, you want the EC2 instances to be 2 CPU. Okay, then you cannot do that using launch configuration. That can be done by using launch templates. Okay, and in the other important thing in launch templates and change a difference in between EC2 launch configuration and launch templates is that launch templates can be used in you can use mix of different kinds of EC2 instances. Okay, like reserved EC2 instances, which we already learned what is reserved, or spot, okay, or even on demand. Okay, all these different kinds of EC2 instances can be mixed in launch templates, which you cannot do in launch configuration. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on launch templates. Now, EC2 auto scaling group. This is called ASG. What does ASG mean? You know what is HA? High availability. Okay. What happens in HA is, let's say, for example, let's take an example of an application. Let's take this AWS only. Okay. Whenever like you are, let's take one simple example. Suppose you are going to the home page. Okay, there are a lot of instances, okay, which is providing that service, okay, and you may not be hitting the same instance, EC2 instance. You may be hitting different EC2 instances. Okay, now those EC2 instances are in abandoned. Okay, that means they have a group of EC2 instances, okay, which should always be running, so that your AWS interface is always open, available. Okay, let's say for example, you have one EC2 instance. Okay, now if that EC2 instance for some reason goes down, due to CPU or due to memory. That means what? Your whole application is down. Okay, so what auto scaling group does is, suppose you have an EC2 instance, you have auto scaling group with say 2 instances. Okay, so what will happen is, if one of your instance goes down due to memory, CPU or anything, okay, it will auto create another EC2 instance. Okay, so that is the advantage of feature of auto scaling. That means auto scaling will always have the desired number of EC2 instances, okay, for your application up and running. Okay, so auto scaling is a way to always have a desired number of EC2 instances running, as well as, okay, what happens if your CPU is going higher. Okay, let's say you have 4 EC2 instances, desired ones, and your CPU, but all these 4 instances have high CPU utilization. Okay, so what does it mean? Your EC2 instance may be unable to serve new requests coming to the application. So what happens? It can automatically add new instances. Okay, new EC2 instances. That is one. The other one is, you can set a minimum number of EC2 instances. Okay, let's say for example, Monday to Friday, okay, you got a lot of say traffic coming to your application. Okay, so what happens in that case? You need more EC2 instances. Now on Saturday and Sundays, you have very low number of EC2 instances. Okay, and not EC2 instances, your less number of requests, and you don't need that many number of EC2 instances. Okay, because if you keep those EC2 instances, what will happen? You'll have to pay more. Okay, so what auto scaling group can do is, on Saturday and Sundays, it can reduce the number of EC2 instances instead of 4 to 2. That is the minimum required. Okay, so in this way, auto scaling helps to keep the desired level of EC2 instances available for serving your application. Okay, now like how it solves your application to these different instances is done by load balancer. Load balancer will be in our next session. Okay, there are 3 different types of load balancers. How they work, we'll do real life in next session. So now let me go to the console and show you all these. Okay, so here I am. Very first, AMI. Okay, if when you go to launch an instance, okay, the very first thing, let's say I give it EC01, okay, EC201, the name. Okay, this we have already done. See, this is the Amazon machine image. Okay, AMI. Okay, so currently I have restricted you all to use only this one, only this image. Okay, you cannot use other images. Later on, I'll show you how how to use all these images. And here, keeper, you know all this. Okay, now all this you already know this, right? For the security group, and later on, I'll show you the real say differences between security group you create and the default security group. Okay, so I'll be coming to that later on. Now, so there are many machine images. Okay, you'll have a lot of machine images. Okay, you can have in the by customers, you can have your own custom created or from the marketplace. Okay, now let me go to the advanced section here, advanced details. What you'll see here is user data. Okay, so this is where I'll input my user data. So what does user data mean? I told you user data means it will execute these commands. Okay, this is how you do. Okay, you have to, this is to tell that you want to use bash shell. Okay, then this is the command. You know this command, we went inside the EC2 instance and we did it, right? Yum update -y to update, and then yum install httpd -y to install the httpd. This can be any command. Okay, any command required for your application during launch, for the first launch. Okay, so system, this one I'm starting the httpd. Okay, and I'm enabling the httpd, and I'm creating the index.html file with this text. Okay, so let me make this h1. Okay, this h1, so I'll make it bold. H1 is bold. Savin, you are getting right? We are doing the same thing, but today, now what we are going to do is we are going to put this the user data. Okay, so what happens now is once your EC2 instance is up and running, okay, you'll already get a website created. Okay, you can even write any other commands like copying from create other, say, programs and all those, anything you can write it here. Okay, now I will just launch the instance. Oh, keep it, sorry. What did my keep it? This one. Okay, actually I no need to log in, then also like just provide a keeper. Okay, by the time it launches, okay, let's go to here. I'll show you launch templates. Okay, and there is launch configurations. Okay, you can create them and then use it in the auto scaling group. Okay, or when you create the auto scaling group, it will ask you to create these two things, either launch configurations or launch templates. Okay, so I will first create a launch template. Okay, so I'll just say create a launch template here. Okay, let me give it launched LT01. You see here, I told you now we can have different versions. We can change the template. Okay, that's why we can provide version here. Okay, currently I'll not provide any versions. I'll not provide any tags. Okay, and I can just say browse the AMI. Okay, I'll use the same EC2. Where did it go? Okay. Can I filter on this? This is the one, right? So I'll just select this one. Okay, not valid, may. Okay, so after this, don't include instance type. Okay, okay, then the key pair that I want to use. Okay, actually all these things we did in where did we do? We did it in the while creating the EC2 instance. Okay, but now we are creating a template, okay, to be used. Okay, which are the subnets I want to use? Okay, so I'll just use two. Okay, I'll use this subnet, and then security group, I'll choose this one. Okay, and I'll use everything same. Okay, then I'll just say create launch template. Okay, launch template is now created. Now this launch template, okay, will have T2 micro, okay, instance, and you can see the storage, everything. Okay, this is just a template now. Okay, now let's go to our EC2 instance. Okay, so we have two EC2 instances running. This is the one that I created. Now let me open the address. Okay, so by it should show. See, if I say continue, see, this is the page running on. I didn't have to do anything. Savin, you saw it, right? I didn't have to do anything. What I wrote in my EC2 metadata, it got all executed, and now Apache is running. Okay, in my EC2 instance. Okay, so now I created a launch template. Okay, so I have the launch template here. If you want to see the details, okay, you can go and see the details here. Okay, now I'll go to auto scaling group. See very properly. Okay, now in this one, be very careful what it does and what it happens. Yeah, if you can just actually see, you can see from here itself. Okay, we have a minimum number of instances we can reduce to. Okay, let's say for example, our auto scaling group, okay, should have at least say 2 instances or 1 instance. Okay, these 2 means desired. Okay, it will always have 2 instances running. Okay, and scale out. Okay, scale out means I told you when CPU, memory, and resources are highly utilized, and you need new EC2 instances to solve that request coming from the application users, then you can increase it. That is the maximum size. So we have to specify minimum size, desired capacity, and the maximum size of the auto scaling group. Okay. Now before creating auto scaling group, I will first try to stop the EC2 instance that is here. Okay, I'll remove this one first. Terminate. Okay, I'm terminating it, and I'll stop this one. Okay, this one I will stop it. Okay, so that like we'll know the instances are created by auto scaling group. So now, Savin, okay, I'm going to create an auto scaling group. So create auto scaling group. Okay, name, you can give any name. Let's give ASG01. Okay, launch templates. Okay, or switch to launch configuration. Okay, I will not go to launch configuration today. Okay, launch template. You can create a new launch template, or you can select from here. See, LT01. Mohan, we had created this, right?
Yeah.
Savin? Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. So, or we can create a new one here, which is the same thing. It will ask what we had done while creating the LT01 launch template. Okay. So just say next. Oh, sorry. Launch template required. Okay. Just say next. Okay. In this VPC, select. Okay. And let's take in these 2 subnets. So what it means is the EC2 instances, okay, should be put into which virtual private cloud VPC and which subnets. Suppose you have 4 EC2 instances, it will divide those EC2 instances across these zones. Okay, subnets. Sorry, not zones, subnets. Okay, that means if this subnet fails, still you have your instances in this subnet. Okay, and it is in different zone. See, zone is also different. So what it means is the EC2 instances will be divided put into these subnets equally. Okay, later on we'll see how it puts. We'll just see how after next one. So let's go to next. Okay, now we don't want a load balancer. Okay, I'll show you the load balancer in next session. Okay, without the load balancer, we don't want the health check now. Enable group maintenance. Okay, this actually, what are all this we'll do later on. Okay, now let's go to next. Okay, see, I told you the desired capacity is how many instances you want it to be running. Let's say 3 minimum, let's say 1. Okay, and maximum, okay, let's make it 5. Okay, so that means if when you create this auto scaling group, 3 instances will be created automatically. Okay, so let me, yeah, let's just go next. Okay, and then we say next. Okay, we don't put anything now, we just say next. Okay, and then create auto scaling group. Okay, now you remember in auto scaling group we wanted how many instances? Desired was 3, minimum was 1, maximum was 4. So this is the, so how many instances will be launched? Mohan?
Three.
Yes, yes, good. So if we go to EC2 instances now, you can see it from here itself, but let's go to EC2 instances. Okay, if you go here, okay, you will see that new instances, see, new instances are being created. Okay, there will be, see, 1, 2, 3 already created. Okay, you can see here 1, 2, and 3. These are the 3 instances. See, they are initializing, correct? Okay, so now let's just go to the auto scaling group. Okay, let's see here. You can see instance management from here. Okay, see, these 3 instances now are already in service. Okay, you can see here also, and you can see it in the EC2 instances dashboard also. Okay, they are all healthy. Okay, now suppose I go to EC2 dashboard, go to my running instances. Okay, now suppose what I do is I remove this one. Okay, so what will happen if I stop this? What will happen?
Stop.
Yeah, if I stop this EC2 instance, okay, which is in our auto scaling group, okay, so what will happen?
All the 2 instances will be running?
No, I told you no, our desired is 3. That means if I remove this EC2 instances, if I stop it, it will create new one itself. The auto scaling group will always try to ensure that you have your desired level of EC2 instances created from the template, launch template. Okay, so let me stop it. Okay, I just say stop, or even you can terminate. Let me terminate. Instead of that, let me terminate. Okay, so that way now if you go to auto scaling group, you should have only 2 instances, correct? But if you go to activity, you will see it is it will be launching new instance. Okay, after some time you will see that it is trying to launch a new instance, because the instance actually is supposed to be 3. Okay, now we have how many? Only 2. Okay, let's check here. Monitoring. Is healthy. I had removed it, right? Where did it go? Terminated. So which one did I terminate? This is from the from the template itself, right? From the ASG. So now the auto-scaling should be having activity. See, you see here, okay? It is replacing, okay? You see here, okay? So see this, it has been terminated. It got the information that it has been terminated, and it is creating a new instance, okay? So that means you'll always have how many instances running in your auto-scaling group? 3.
3 minimum desired.
Yeah, desired is not minimum. Desired is what you want. Okay, what should always be there is the desired. Okay, minimum means if your resource utilization is less, okay, and you want to reduce the cost of your EC2 instances, you can bring it down to 1. Okay, but this is not the desired. Okay, so what happens if normal resource utilization comes? Then it will go to 3. Okay, now if you have very high utilization, then it will go to 5. Okay, but to go to 5, you need to put some kind of conditions. Okay, that we'll be doing in next session. So now if I remove the auto scaling group, okay, so all the instances will be removed. Okay, whatever instances you had in this auto scaling group, they will also be removed. So this is very good, right? You can have a number of instances started using the auto scaling group and terminated using the auto scaling group. Okay, now once it is removed, the instances will also be removed from my dashboard. I mean from the AWS. Okay. Okay, you see terminated, sorting down, right? You can see here, this sorting down, this already terminated. Okay, so that's how auto scaling works. Okay, auto scaling group in AWS. Now these auto scaling groups, we need to link them with load balancer. You saw while I was doing, it was asking for load balancer, right? So that one we'll do in next session. Actually now